Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some stuff that PlayStation is doing that has some people a little on the fence and feeling a type of way, especially with the last showcase happening and not delivering exactly what everybody wanted. And we're also going to be discussing the risks of their strategy and what I believe to be a good solution to the strategy that they're trying to implement here. Now, quickly, before we jump into that, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button to show your support, share the video if you find it informative, and subscribe if you're new. Now let's talk about Sony and their new strategy. As we all know, they have been in the industry for a very long time and have been improving quite a lot. They've evolved a lot. They've really figured out what works. They're proven over decades now. They're perfecting their formula, and they may have even perfected it at this point. They are a masterclass when it comes to single player experiences. And that is partly why people are so upset about the games as a service and the live service push. And then on top of that, with the showcase not delivering those single player games that they were hoping for. Now, naturally, Sony wants to keep up with the times. They want to evolve. They want to make sure that their PlayStation division is doing very well. So naturally, they're going to want to look for ways to maximize profits and stay ahead of the curve when it comes to creating the best games possible and creating the best place for everyone to play. But naturally, this strategy of trying to keep up with the times and creating lucrative projects come with a lot of risk. They are trying to evolve everything with live services, and naturally, this is going to come with risks. It's going to potentially waste resources. It's going to have failed projects. Failed projects could therefore also stain a great reputation that they have. So it really creates this type of situation where if you go this route, you could also impact what you have going and what you have been doing exceptionally well for so long. And the other question that remains is, do their fans truly want this? Are they fixing something that isn't necessarily broken? And are they spreading studios too thin to accommodate live service projects to hit Sony's targets? We got to remember that creating games that they have never done and are very difficult to do for even the best of studios are going to create challenges and maybe even create games that aren't that good for a studio that really knows what they're doing. For example, we look at Naughty Dog and how long it's taken them to even show us some gameplay of factions, and we still have not seen anything. It's been a very long time that they have been working on this. So the real question remains, when will we ever see factions? Will it ever come out anytime soon? And so it really just shows how challenging it is to create live service games that are great. And there are also very few successful ones as it is. You look at the big ones: Fortnite, GTA 5, COD, Apex, sports games like FIFA, NBA 2K. These kind of games are ones that are super successful. But there aren't that many. There have been so many titles that have failed and continue to fail just to try to get a piece of that pie. So it's like, do you take these risks to possibly attain that goal of having a very lucrative live service game, or do you keep doing what you've been doing really well for a very long time? So obviously, Sony can't just be like, hey, we're just going to make single player games forever. That's all we're ever going to do. And that's our plan going forward. They have to try to evolve with the times. They have to try to make lucrative IP that are going to last a long time, that are going to be playable, that don't require another 4 to 5 years of development to release another game, right? So live service games are still something that they really want to do. And my solution here is pretty simple. Now, I'm no expert. I don't work in the industry. So this is pretty much an armchair opinion, but I would think that allowing your studios to do what they do best and what they are known for and what the fans love is the ideal thing to do. Instead, what they should do is buy studios for the live service goals and titles, build studios for live service games. Look at Haven, Firewalk, which they just bought recently, that is also doing a live service game. Bungie, they just bought recently, another live service titles type of studio that is also putting together more games, right? Destiny, Marathon. They also got a new IP as well that's going to be a live service game. So it makes sense to build and buy studios that are going to focus on that rather than go ahead and just, make your top tier studios like Santa Monica and Naughty Dog and these guys go all out on these live service titles, because I believe it's truly thinning out, their resources. And I also think it's a risk. It's a big risk for Naughty Dog to drop a game that's not exceptional, it's going to hurt their reputation. It absolutely will. And so I think it's really important that we don't put them in, situations where they might be damaged to that degree. I'm not saying play it safe. I'm saying allow them to do what they're really good at rather than putting them in a position to create live service titles, because that's kind of the goal here. Ultimately, this to me is the most logical plan to execute a well-balanced portfolio and hitting games as a service without impacting the public perception, because the one thing that I'm noticing a lot in the industry and online is that people are concerned about this new direction that PlayStation and Sony is taking, and they're wondering if they're going to jeopardize their entire reputation for creating some of the best titles just to get a piece of that pie. And is it really worth all this risk? And is it really going to create a true better PlayStation than what it was? Or are we going to look back and be like, I wish PlayStation was that single player powerhouse? Now, I want to clarify, because I don't want everybody to go to the comments and complain and say, hey, well, that's not all they're working on. They're still focused on first party. They're still focused on single player. They're still focused on the greatness that they've been giving us. And I do agree, and I understand, and I know these things. But if we can't pretend that they haven't made a real push for live service games and multiplayer games, and maybe, people are going to feel a type of way about that. And maybe the fan base that they've cultivated all this time are not going to be very fond of that, because I have actually seen a lot of people express that they are not that interested in multiplayer games. They are not that interested in live service games. And I think that is a real factor. But nonetheless, I do want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear how you guys are feeling about Sony's new push. Do you think they're making a mistake? How do you think they should go about it? Do you have a solution? Share those thoughts in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe if you're new, and share the video if you enjoyed it as well. You can follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. I thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.